if this is a first DUI, what the judges in San Francisco have asked the attorneys to do is fill out or submit a one-page, it can be longer than one page, kind of application showing a number of different criteria that they want to see before granting a DUI diversion. And some of those criteria are, they want to know things about the case, if someone's in or out of custody. They want to know what the charges are. They want to know if someone has prior criminal convictions, what kind, when. Basically, what the judges want is they want a fact sheet or a sheet of paper that they can put in the file so that in the future another judge can look at it and see that this was, analyzed and what it said. They want to know things like if there was an accident, what the damages were, if someone is, the facts of the case. Did the cops see something or did someone call 911? Who are the witnesses? They want to know if how high the alcohol level was, how they did on the field sobriety tests, mitigating factors. And those are really important, showing the judge that the client has already enrolled in a DUI school, that they're doing some AA meetings or some self-help, doing some therapy, that kind of thing. And then they want to know, people are supporting a spouse or children or elderly parents. And then other things like they want a personal statement, a goal, or a list of goals that the person has. So these are things that don't need to be, very long, but there is information that the court wants. They want this submitted at least, 2, 3, 4 days. The longer the better. Give them more time to review it before the case is next heard in court. And this would usually be heard after the first court appearance, which is called the arraignment, so at a pretrial conference. And the court in San Francisco is only allowing a certain number of these to be calendared per date. And so they're calendaring them now probably 5 to 6 weeks out at the soonest. And as more and more of these are happening, it's going to take longer and longer to get them heard. So if you have a case, a DUI case in San Francisco, you want to get an attorney who knows what they're doing, find the best attorney you can, who can, fight the DMV case for you and see if they can get your case dismissed in court. And if not, see if a diversion is available. And the procedures for a first offense DUI are what I just went through. If it is granted, typically the conditions of the diversion, and your attorney will have submitted this to the judge and the prosecutor will, chime in and say what they think the conditions of the diversion should be. And typically it's going to be 6 months to a year or so for the period of diversion where you just have to stay out of trouble and then show that you've finished whatever AA meetings or self-help was agreed that you would do, any community service that's been agreed that you do, the DUI school, and then there are usually a few other things, you have to obey all laws and things like that. And then once all that's done, there's a final court appearance and the case is diverted out of the criminal system, which is awesome. You will not have a criminal conviction. Your attorney still has to deal with the DMV though. So that's something to be very aware of. Now, if it's a second offense, a second or a third offense or more, you can still apply for the DUI diversion under Penal Code Section 1001.95. And in San Francisco, what the judges have asked for is a more formal motion, which your attorney would file with the court and then get copies to the judge and the DA. And that would be more involved. That would list a lot more of the history and current state of the law. That would list the facts of the case, just more in more pages of detail. There would be mitigating factors that your attorney would attach to a motion like that as exhibits to show the court, what you are doing, what you've done, what you plan to do. Those are going to get a lot more scrutiny. They're going to be a lot tougher to get granted, but these are things that there is a possibility of getting these granted. So for a lot of these cases, it's a real good idea for the attorney to do the motions. There are certain types of cases, I'm not going to get into a lot of details on these, but that are not appropriate for a diversion motion for different reasons. But I would say for first offense non-injury DUIs or second or third offense non-injury DUIs in San Francisco, running a diversion motion is a good idea, especially on the multiple offenses when you are, as the defendant, as the person who's been arrested for the DUI, doing a lot of different things to show the court and show the community, society that you're learning your lesson, you're taking this serious, and how getting a diversion will help you in your future for many different reasons. Anyway, that's the current state of San Francisco and the 1001.95 diversion. And if anybody has any questions about this, check with a local San Francisco DUI lawyer who would be more likely than those not in the San Francisco area or not practicing as much in San Francisco to know the ins and outs. And things are changing weekly. So I could be doing a video on this in 2 weeks or 4 weeks to update what's been going on and any changes that have been made. But for now, which is, when I say now, we're talking early February 2021, this is the current state of DUIs in San Francisco with the new diversion laws.